not so great today.
Oh, what happened?
Academic has been so yeah, it was a hectic. I
I
haven't got
see.
any sleep, so yeah, it was a hellish week.
Okay, okay. Carla, I'm going to stop you right there. I think in this particular case, you should probably focus on your studies this week, yeah? Because we don't want you to lose sleep. That doesn't inspire delight. So I'm going to give you the chance to go back, okay? Just focus on your studies for the week. Don't take any time to worry about this, and we'll have everything ready for you, okay?
Thank you for that. Actually, it's good to you now. I think that I'm just going to follow with today's agenda.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay, but listen, and this goes for everybody who's also a student employee, right, or working with it. I think I went through school myself, and it's very tough to do school and work at the same time. So we want everybody to positively transform, and in order to do that, you got to get your schoolwork done. Or if you're really committed and you want to drop out of school and be like Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs or whatever, you can do that too. But I would recommend the more stable path for everybody here, right? If you're really passionate and you know this is what you want to do and there's nothing else, then okay, all right. I'm sure your parents would hate me for giving you that thing. But yeah, please, if you do have school, prioritize school first. I think that's really important because it has lifelong consequences. Okay, working here does too, of course.
Getting tap girls.
Yes.
Help the mind. Get a lot inspiration. I get 2 weeks off and I feel like refreshed today.
There you go. You got 2 weeks off. You had 2 days off. Okay. Yes, that's correct. Burnout has always been something we've been talking about, but don't let it happen to you. Take control and utilize your time well. Okay. So just need to report to HR that you'll be out because of school, and we understand. We truly do. Okay. So thank you, everybody, and let's go into this discussion right now. So we have a key moment right now in our tool, actually. So let's go ahead and take a look at where we are at the moment. So let's see. The moment we're taking a look at right now is regarding this particular structure here. Oh wait, no, it's not this one. Sorry, evolutionary of pitch. Okay, so this is our pitch guideline, which all of us at Bukit Vista who work in business development can follow. And it is structured to 5 stages, right? So there's 5 unique stages where we pitch to owners, each with a specific purpose. But here is where we have a branch point, everyone, and we need to make some decisions here. There's essentially 5 different categories for which we have decided. These are the categories where owners belong to, right? Most of these categories are related to an owner's business situation. So do they have management? Do they like their management? Do they have family management? Something like that, right? So that's one way that we categorized and organized our pitches. So according to that. But since our discussion with Vidi about maybe 2 weeks ago, we developed a new method of classification, right? And what's come up is that instead of looking at owner's business situation, it could be useful to also look at an owner's personality and mindset. So is this owner motivated by logos? Are they motivated by ethos? Are they motivated by pathos? Or a combination of each of these factors as well, right? So it could be also, a person feels a little bit of each of the 3, okay? All right, so if we know that, then personality on the video, personality on the vertical scale and wow, that creates so many. Then you have created 15 different. If you do that, then you'll have 15 different ways to pitch, right? And that is something we also need to think about. Okay, so let's take Nadine's idea into account. Nadine, talk about your idea.
Okay, so for the vertical one, we could divide it from logos, ethos, and pathos, and then the horizontal one is still the situation. So we could see how one particular personality responds to particular situations.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Let me go ahead and try to draw that, right? That is interesting. Okay, so grid of owner personality, and Ollie, I'll just go ahead and sketch this out, right? So don't worry about this. I'm just kind of like, trying to visualize what Nadine means, all right? Owner personality and business situation. So we could potentially have something like, let's say this, right? So this is, let's say, the owner personality, and then this is logos. Oh, wait, sorry. Logos, Pathos. I know I spelled that wrong. Ethos, wait, give me a second. Okay, wait, actually, this is the business situation. Okay. And onus, okay, and then maybe this is stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 5. Okay, let's copy that over. And let's say this could be a, whoops, okay, let's copy that over. Okay, let's say this then could be like this. What is that? That's category 1, right? Okay, let's call it this then. Category, category 1, right? Okay, like that?
Yeah, and what is the stages for?
Oh, because now we are compacting each 5 stages into each cell, right? Otherwise, there's no way to, because now you have 3 dimensions, right? You have 5 stages this way, and then you kind of have owner personality, right? You have business situation, and then you have 5 stages. So it would look like, before it was like a table, but now it's like a chess with stacks on each grid, right? Okay, that's good, but what problem does that present, you think, Nadine?
I think it will be too complicated.
It might actually get really complicated, right? Because we have 5 categories and 3 owner personalities. So that's 15 different scenarios, right? 15 different scenarios, each with 5 different stages, is we need to write 75 different routines, right? For all the different situations. Now, when we make guidelines, if we have 75 different routines, do you think that is going to be effective or ineffective?
It's not going to be effective.
Right. So it's not going to be very effective, right? So then this is where we need to make some decisions, okay? I agree. I think your layout is good, but let's go to Alia. Alia, do you have a solution for us? What can we potentially do to, let's say, retain maybe some of this better structure, but also reduce the potential complexity of what we're trying to do?
I think maybe we could just separate the owner personality and the business situation, and then the person who reads the guideline can like find the connection between those two.
Can, right? Okay, so that's what I did over here. So I wrote one, I put a link here, right? So one roadmap is for owner personality. The other roadmap is for category, okay? So, okay, in that particular case, what do we have? We don't have that grid anymore, but we have far less complexity. We just have 5 categories plus 3 categories. So we have 8 potential situations, right? And that does simplify it in a way. And then I guess what can happen now is 2 things, right? So we can make a choice, right? We can choose, do we go this way or do we go that way? Which flavor of pitching do you want to use, right? Do you want to navigate using a business situation or do you want to navigate using an owner personality? But then again, let's think about it, right? Is the business situation... Yeah, go ahead, Nadine.
I think if we know well about the owner personality, it should be one flavor to approach, right? To approach any kind of situations, right?
Yeah, okay. The other thing we can do is we can create hierarchy, right? What should be a top level idea? What can be a bottom level idea, right? So Nadine, what does it feel like to you? Is owner personality a top level idea or a bottom level idea compared to business situation?
But the bottleneck is it's more difficult to discover the owner personality at the very first time than the business situation.
It can be. Yes, it can be.
Because business situation is more easier to discover.
That's
on the
correct.
first meeting.
That's correct. Okay, so a person's business situation is easier to understand. But let's also think about this a little bit more. Kyla, what do you think, right? Is there any way we can reduce the complexity in this particular situation? Can we combine anything? Can we remove something? Where are some opportunities to simplify?
I personally think we can go with your current idea. So we identify first in the evolutionary roadmap. Actually, we have tried to put some example. For example, in acquisition audit category 1, in Wayana, when she said that I understand that you've been working on the property for several years. How do you feel about the property? I think we can actually see or picture like what type of property persona that she's talking to. I think we can identify from there and see what we have already in store. So maybe it feels like matching the gap.
Correct.
When you're at the table, we can just like put it like this one is for the logos, Pathos, so not completely doing something new.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. So, so we can definitely implant some questions that would reveal a little bit about what the owner's mindset might be, right, in a particular situation, right? How to discover it. The other thing we can do is also this, everybody. Can we embed the flavor of logos, pathos, and ethos into each of the sections here, right? What would a logos accusation ought to be? What would be the logos approach to build trust and open conversation, right? What would be the pathos way to build trust and open conversation? What would be the logos way to discover? What would be the pathos way to discover? What would be the ethos way to discover? Is there any difference really? Or do these actually just overlap anyway? Okay, let's take a look. Let's see if that's even possible, all right? If we can embed this layer within, let's say, the current structure, that would make it a little bit simpler, right? And perhaps in some certain stages, it's not even necessary. Let's go over to Kyla. What do you think?
Yes, I imagine that would be so.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
No, not
Okay.
probably.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's okay. I'm discovering this for the very first time, just like you guys are, right? So we're all on the same emotional journey. We're kind of leaving our comfort zone, going a little bit into the fear zone, and hopefully we go into growth and discovery zone. Okay. So let's take a look at the top level first, actually. Owner with existing management, owner with existing management, owner with existing management. Are these really necessary to put into 3 different categories? Right, let's see.
There's some differences though.
Okay, so the property management handled by the owner, but the OTA handled by a friend, right? The property management had the owner, the OTA handled by a paid marketing team, right? The property management handled by the owner and internal team, okay? Property management handled by owner himself, no team, okay, with existing property management company, okay? Category, and that category 6, okay, and owners that don't know what they're looking for. All right, let me think. What is the real difference in, let's say, these particular journeys in category 1, 2, and then 3? Are they kind of the same? Do they actually? Okay, let's go. Let's go here in the building trust and encourage open conversation. There any differences in the way we approach? Yeah, I guess so, right? In how we actually diffuse and disarm the situation. Okay. All right, there is subtlety. Yep. Okay. But is there a general approach we can use? Your team might be great. You might be somewhat involved in how you're doing things, but is there a possibility to do better if you consider us? It's pretty much the theme, right? That's the narrative that we're sort of offering in all 3 cases. Just change the specific details, and you have essentially a flavor, right? Okay. There's a possibility that could be combined. All right. There's a possibility 1, 2, and 3 could be combined, and we just use a simple variation, right, to describe each particular unique case. You're doing some of it yourself. You're doing some of it by someone else. wouldn't it be better if we just take care of all of it, right? And put a specialist in charge. Kind of like that's where the arc is. All right, let's take a look at some of these and see what actually are the approaches, let's say in the category 2. You probably think that I don't care that you have a property, but I actually do. I'd like to... Okay, let's ask Nadine, is that a logos, pathos, or an ethos way to approach?
Ethos.
Ethos, right? Okay, let's understand what ethos actually means. Ethos means that this person is personal.
Pathos. I mean,
Pathos, right? Yeah. Okay, let's go to Alia. Alia, what do you think it is?
I also think that it's pathos because it's don't care.
Right. Okay. Kyla, what do you think?
Yeah, that one is pathos.
Okay, very good. All right, so guess what? We have a pathos approach, right?
Yes.
Okay. Ta-da! It's already there. We just didn't know it before, right? Okay, so let's go to the next one. Kyla says you don't need to worry. You might be trying to do something that I don't want to earn or annoy you in team. I just want to ensure that you're satisfied with the current performance, since I believe your property is important to you, right? Let's go to Nadine. What is that? Is that logos, ethos, or pathos?
I think it's probably between pathos and ethos.
Okay, let's go to Wayana. Wayana. Okay, what do you think it is, babe?
Can you go back to the triangle again?
Okay. All right. Oh, wait. You know what? I'll even do this better than you, yeah? I'll even do it better for you. Okay, here we go. Here, you can take a look at both at the same time. So, ta-da. Oh no. Now I've zoomed too far out. Okay, here we go. Meow. Okay.
It's mixed. So you don't need to in the
Of what?
part is pathos and in the bottom part is ethos.
Bottom part is ethos. Okay, personal branding, confidence in...
Like a class and
Okay, interesting. Nadine?
Yes, I think satisfaction is something about emotions, right?
But based on what?
The current performance. It should be logos.
I think so. I think this is somewhat a logos approach, right? You don't need to worry that it might tell you to do something that you don't want to do, right? Okay, all right. The annoy part, yeah, the worry part is definitely pathos, right? Tell you that you want to do something that you don't want to. Okay, that's logical, right? I don't want to do anything that I don't want to, right? Or annoy you and your team. Okay, that's a little bit more pathos. But the root here is you're satisfied with your current performance. Are you satisfied with your current performance? Yeah, I mean, satisfaction could be based on anything, right? Are you satisfied with the way you feel? Now that would be pathos, but current performance is logos, right? Performance is measurable. Performance is something. So this is a mix, right? I would call this a logos sort of pathos approach. You know? You have a little bit of both. You're basing a feeling based on a logical root, right? Based on this idea of current performance. So that's kind of like where you would take it in. You could even go a little bit more in the logos, right? You could go like, say, have you ever actually examined the numbers and really understood if you are getting the best optimization out of your property that you could? Have you felt like there might be things that could show more improvement if you applied a little bit more energy to it, right? Do you feel like maybe these things have not been really discovered yet in your organization because you've been too busy and, and whatever, right? That would be a strictly logos approach, right? Because you're essentially arguing that there's something in there that could be logically improved, right? So that's kind of like there. But you can use a mix, right? You could say the same thing and then ask, doesn't that kind of make you worried that you're missing out on, something? How do you feel that maybe potentially you're losing thousands of dollars every month based on inefficiency in your operating structure that is Okay, logos, inefficiency, pathos, this sense of losing money, right? Sense of loss. So you could use a logos pathos approach, right? And I think Kyla, you pretty much approached that. You did that. Okay, great. Let's go to Wyan's that one, right? We'll find out about the relationship. Okay, instead of becoming a threat, I just want to understand more about your team and Okay, all right, let's go to Alia. Alia, what do you think this is?
Since it's talking about collaboration and to maximize real performance, it's also logos.
Yes, it is. But one more though. Logos, but hinged on something else too.
A threat to your management, maybe about ethos, because it's trying to create trust.
Yeah, I get that vibe too. Nadine, what do you think? Agree, disagree? What do you think?
I would agree with that.
Okay, all right. Yep, so a threat to your management, understand more about your team, right? That's logical, right? Whether it can help you in a current situation, that's also kind of logos, right? I want to help you. And maximize your approach. But the feel of it is definitely based on lifting somebody up, right? It's like this kind of like confidence in delivery. It's about like, building up this person's sense of perfection. Okay, so but let's go into strong ethos, right? What would a very, very strong ethos thing say? Okay, so we could change this and say, you might be worried that this could be a threat to your existing management, but let me also suggest this, that the best managements, that Bukit Vista manages 180 properties, right? And some of these properties have grown far, far beyond what they could have after we started managing, after we've made a transition in their management. Now, what that's resulted in is generally higher profitability for the owner, less stress, and a general smoother operation at no additional cost. In fact, sometimes at a reduced cost, right? So if we could do that for you within the next 6 months, how would you feel about that, right? So that's kind of going for a ethos plus logos approach, right? Like a little bit more extreme. We hinge on the credibility of the delivery. We refer to existing partners. So that gets that. Okay, good. This can be then a, let's say, an ethos and logos approach. Okay. All right, great. Kyla, did you raise your hand? No. Okay.
No.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. So we got an ethos logos approach. Let's go to this one. All right. You're probably wondering why I'm talking to you since you already have a PM. I just want to discuss. Okay. Let's go to Nadine. Nadine, what do you think this is?
I think this is logos.
Right. This is fairly logos, right? So this is just asking, can I investigate a little bit and see what they're doing and see if there's an opportunity to improve things, right? Okay, let's go to this one. Next one, you're probably wondering, next over, and know each other, blah, 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 blah. Add value by brainstorming, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's go to Kyla. Kyla, what does this strike you as?
More like ethos.
Yeah, this is ethos, right? So I'd like to add value to your organization, right? So I'm building up you, okay? Brainstorming, building up value, optimize, okay. Your business, I would say optimize, but the your gives it a personal touch, right? Your thing. So kind of brings it back into this idea of ethos again, including your existing team. Okay, so that's ethos. That's like building upon what's already there and enhancing it, right? Okay, not too much pathos, right? Not about anything related to feeling, not related to anything to, okay. So I seem to have mostly a logos ethos approach, right? And you know what would be funny? I wonder if each of us consistently uses language that like that's who we really are ourselves, right? So we use language that is consistent with our own way of thinking. And when we are approached by the same kind of language, we probably would be more persuaded, right? So let's check. Wayana is definitely more of a pathos person than me, right? Let's see if her reasoning is more pathos. Yeah. Let's go find it. Let's kind of I'm just very curious. Let's see. Okay. Let's go find a random one. Here's another random one from Wayana, right? How's your team doing? Are you happy with the result of their performance? Okay, what is that?
So Pathos.
Pathos plus,
Logo.
yeah, Pathos logos, right? You could be, are you happy with the way that they respect you, right? Maybe that would be Pathos Ethos, right? Okay, all right, cool. What about the second part? What is the most important aspect with hiring an internal team using management?
It's logos. No?
Yeah, that's logos, right? That's very logical, right? If you say, what do you feel is the most important thing that makes you happy when you hire a team, then that's asking for pathos, right? But depending upon who the owner is, they might actually think your question is irrelevant, all right? So if you ask that kind of question to somebody who was logos, they would go, it doesn't matter what I feel, right? It doesn't matter if I'm happy. It matters if we make money, right? So in those particular situations, let's say this could be, hey, check this out, right? This could be really related to this investor pyramid. Investor pyramid Maslow, right? Now, let's say, for example, you are, where is it? Okay, here it is, right? Let's go back to this idea again. You have legacy, relationship, and transaction alignment, right? Now, if you're talking to somebody who you have thought, okay, this person is probably looking for a relationship alignment, right? So they're probably going to be motivated more by ethos issues rather than pathos or logos, right? They're thinking about how they engage with other people, right? So if you start asking them, have you counted the number of people that you work with? And have you decided whether or not, how many of them are beneficial, how many of them are not? Well, that's a very logos-oriented question, all right? But if you ask them more questions about like, okay, what gives you pride in the kind of people that you work with? And how much of that influences your decision-making, all right? So then that's kind of like more on an ethos-pathos area. So that probably would work better if you've already identified this person is coming in for relationship alignment, right? Which makes it like a little bit more, yes, Nadine.
Sir, technically, actually, it's even better if you could, because we're asking, right, in the questions, it's even better if it's mix of the logos, ethos, and pathos.
Then you can see where they're coming from.
Answer, right?
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
But your question at the very beginning has to be neutral question, right? Because if you get too focused on a particular thing, like you lost this much money last month, how does that make you feel? And like when you mix them all together, then you don't necessarily have a clean way to start, right? Actually, the best question you could ask is, how are you feeling today, right? Or you can even throw in something that's let's say statistics, right? Hey, did you know that the weather is 26 degrees today in Bali? No, I never really thought about that. I just really pay attention to whether it's warm or cold. Okay, probably, maybe not logos, right? Or did you realize that you had a 5% difference in this year? No, I didn't. I don't really count the numbers. Oh, okay. What do you prioritize, right? I prioritize and then that kind of gives you a direction for where they might go. Sometimes you also have to listen. If you guys come to the chapter where we talk about classifications, a lot of times when we look at, let's say, oh, this is fun. Sorry to go on a tangent real quick, but let me kind of point this out, because a lot of what we do in business development, we have to read between the lines, which means somebody might actually tell you something, but they don't really mean what they actually say, right? I don't know how to put that, but let's put it this way, right? There was this one review that we read on the Four Seasons website, right? And the person, let me see if I can see it. Okay. All right, no, this wasn't it. Okay, this is actually okay. Wait. Sorry, I have it already. Property classification. Okay, property classification based on guest reviews. Okay, so I won't go search it out. Just listen to my story, okay? So there was this one guest, and they kept on saying things like this. They kept on saying, "Oh, the staff were very well trained. I was greeted with this. I was given this. They didn't charge me for this, right?" So throughout the entire story, it sounded like they were talking about things, right? They're talking about the staff, they're talking about the service, they're talking about whatever. But then if you really think about it, this person is sharing this in public, right? So they're talking about, and the last thing they said is, I won't tell you everything. I'll let you figure out some of the things for yourselves, right? So we're trying to like understand, okay, why is this person talking this way? They're talking about this, but what is it they really mean? So you really have to think about it, right? Why is a person saying the staff is really well trained? Why is this person saying all this stuff that they gave me for free? Why are they actually saying, hey, look, I'm not going to tell you everything that you need to know. You need to come here and experience it for yourself. What they really care about was self-respect. They wanted other people to respect them, right? That was the underlying kind of the story inside the story. Yes, they are talking about this thing and that thing and that thing, but why have they chosen to speak about these particular topics? Why have they chosen not to tell you the entire story? Well, they don't choose to tell you the entire story because they want to, create a feeling of allure, right? Like a good storyteller doesn't tell you the ending. So, but then why do they not do that? It's not to make the story better. It's to make themselves look better, right? So that is something that you have to read into sometimes, right? A person might be telling you something, but you have to figure out, okay, why is this person actually motivated to tell me these things, right? So if a person sits down and talks to you about, last week I just closed a $500,000 deal. Well, that's really good. Why are you telling me that, right? Why are you telling me you have lots of money? Okay, it seems like you have a lot of money to spend right now. Yeah, I'm gonna go and buy a villa. Okay, why are you telling me that, right? You want to pay extra for a villa? Is that your purpose? Do you want me to overcharge you for the purchase? No. You clearly can see this person wants respect, right? Because the truth is, they did this and nobody cared. The truth is, they probably did this gigantic deal. They think it's an achievement, and then there was probably nobody talking about it at the office because another guy got a deal for $1 million. And so this person might be telling you this for a specific reason. So this is also something that you have to get into, right? And really understand. Okay, all right, sorry, I went a little bit too far on that one. But okay, we can see why it does work on the sort of the pathos side, right? Okay, let's go to Kyla. Okay, wait, this is motivation. This isn't an exact example, but let's go to here. I find working with this outsource, they help us get our... Okay, this isn't necessarily, okay, this is an approach.
I think you're correct when you say that not every stage needs the identifying between.
That's right. That's
Technicals.
right. Okay, let's think about it then. In discovery.
Why is that, sorry?
Well, because certain stages are going to be within a certain thing anyway, right? Let's say pattern matching. Pattern matching is always going to be probably logos plus something else, right? You wouldn't pattern match without logos. You wouldn't say, because you told me you wanted to think about your brand, that's why I thought that having, I don't know, that's why I thought having, let's say, a data science person inspect your records might be good. What does that have to do with my brand? That makes no sense at all, right? So in this particular stage of pattern matching, right? In pattern matching, you would always have to use logos plus something else, right? You would always have to use logos maybe plus pathos if you know that they feel something about a particular feeling, right? So let's go into this. You've discovered that this person has lost $50,000 last year, right? You've discovered that because they lost $50,000, they couldn't go on their family holiday, okay, to Italy, okay? So you could say something like this: hire Bukit Vista, and not only can you have an opportunity to get that $50,000 back, but you can go to Italy every year afterwards, right? So that's kind of a logos and sort of a pathos feel to it, right? And you and your family will be happy forever. So that's a little bit of the approach, but the approach would always be a logos plus pathos, logos plus ethos, right? So you would not necessarily need to think too much about which direction that I choose. But the discovery, let's go into the discovery section. Discovery. Now that is interesting, right? Discovery is always what? Let's go to Wayana. Can discovery only be ethos or only be pathos? discovery has to have what? Babe, you're muted.
Thank you, there, sorry. To discover, I use mostly like emotional.
Okay, so you use mostly Pathos, right? How do you feel? How did that make you feel? Okay.
From that, when we make people comfortable with you, I can get the other one easier.
Okay, I agree.
That's my angle, but I don't know what others.
Okay, great. So I agree. Discovery should fundamentally, you should understand how somebody feels, because people, when you understand what triggers them emotionally, are much more easy to guide, right? If you don't know how somebody is feeling, then you really, you don't. But it's a little harder. But you also need to know what triggers that feeling. You need to know what is the cause that creates that feeling. And so for that to happen, Nadine, what would you need?
Could you please repeat the question, sir?
Okay, so I do agree that fundamentally Pathos is really important, right? Because if you know, like even very logical people are motivated by Pathos, right? Their sense of logic gives them a sense of comfort, right? They feel that if they can understand it logically, then they can take confident action on something. But if they don't understand something, you won't find too many logical people who are all logos enjoy gambling, for example, right? People who are very logos do not enjoy gambling because they can't figure it out, right? They're like, so that takes kind of away but you can then figure out, oh, okay, it's because if you don't understand something, you don't feel comfortable with it. So at the end of the day, not feeling comfortable is the ultimate decision maker feeling, right? That's what triggers the decision.
Yes.
But
I think like no matter what the personality is, there will be a space to actually discover how they feel. So we will always need to identify the emotional part.
right.
Yes.
Okay.
So I agree with that.
Okay, Pathos is kind of really center of gravity here. Let's go to Kyla. Kyla, what do you think? Are we in the right direction? Are we headed the wrong way? What do you think about the discovery? Is discovery supposed to be themed in certain ways, or how do we go about it?
I don't think I have better idea, but what we've been doing so far, because it's more like Kanani was correct. It's kind of, we have to involve certain emotions whenever like in what kind of situation. So I don't think we can really implement the logos Ethos Pathos method in the discovery vision.
Okay. Let's go to Ollie. Ollie, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it is the same. So maybe discovery should always be connected with Pathos and something else if they really do have that personality.
Okay, got it. Well, let's also reflect for a moment, yeah? It could depend on how you identified the owner in the very beginning, right? If you identified the owner in the beginning as a logos person, then you should figure out what are the steps that this person thinks in. What are the 3 steps that would get you to, get out of the situation that you're in, right? Logos is actually quite simple. That could be actually just a general approach. Let's try that. Let's give ourselves a little bit of space here. We're gonna draw on this thing here. Okay, let's see if it works, right? For a person who is thinking logos in the discovery part, where is it? Stage 2, purpose, discovery. Okay, stage 3. So it could be essentially this. What is your present situation? What are the steps necessary to reach your goals? Okay, wait. We need present situation. What are your goals? And what are the steps necessary to reach your goals? That's very logical, right? What's your current situation? Where would you like to be? What are the steps that you envision getting there, right? Let them tell you that. That's great, right? Because if they're logical, they'll probably be able to formulate it. They think that way, okay? If you're dealing with maybe a Pathos person, it's a little bit different. It's like, how do you feel about your current situation, right? How would amazing or inspirational feel? Okay. And how about we paint a picture together about how we'll get there. Yeah, then you can discover sort of like how they, or how would you feel in 1 month, 2 months, right? 3 months. I don't know. Like that could be a sort of a way to do that. Or actually, it could be the same thing. Maybe you tell them the steps, and then you ask them, how would you feel at each step, right? Maybe, yeah. Okay. And then ethos. How would we create an ethos pathway? Let's go to Olia. Olia, what do you think?
Maybe, what about your current situation? Do you trust in the management you're having or something?
Okay. How do you determine trustworthiness and in your managers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or how do you determine performance? Wait, no, this person's not logical. This person's pathos, right? Okay. What is the criteria most important to you when selecting a management representative? Right? This gives them an opportunity to express that, right? Credibility, reputation, all these things, right? I'm guessing. I'm not really sure right now. What do you think, Nadine?
I think so. Could be something like, how does the current team actually building your property credibility?
Right. How does your current team build your brand? And what would you give them in terms of some sort of ethos score, right? In terms of credibility, of their ability to consistently perform.
For that question's for scaling 1 to 10. Is it for ethos or logos, sir?
Could be for both. If they can logically, well, it depends what they say. If they talk about KPIs and measurement metrics and performance indicators, and they're very logical about it, right? And they give you stories about the proof, then great, right? If it's like, you know what, I would give them a 3 because they all didn't go to very good schools. I think their work is kind of mediocre. When I look at our competitors, it seems like our competitors are doing so much better. This is a person who is constantly comparing their own team against others, right? And like this kind of person, I think, who's doing ethos always sees it as like, am I in the top 1% of the world that I belong to, all right, or the top 10%? And if I'm not, something's wrong, right? Rather than looking at, let's say, what are the facts, right? What are the facts that drive me to the progress I'm going into, right? So this would be a scientist who's trying to get a Nobel Prize, rather than a scientist who's trying to cure, a global issue one step at a time, right? Okay. I think, yeah, if you say the 1 out of 10, you could get both, right? You could get, it just depends on what kind of response they give you back. And that would let you know what kind of person they were, right? That would be a great opening question, Nadine, all right? 1 out of 10, how would you currently rate your management company? And let's see what they say, all right? The why tells you how that actually works. Oh, okay, bingo. Now we can have an opening question, right? So that could be, rate your current management situation from 1 to 10, right? And that can be universal. right? You can use that kind of like for all three categories, because that would then help you determine which particular response, right? So if you get a logos, if the person mentions KPIs, right? You get a pathos probably if the person mentions, let's see. Oh, thank you, Alia. Yeah, I'll let Alia continue here at that. If the person is pathos, what would they mention, Nadine?
If the owner is Pathos,
Yeah.
they're probably shy to actually give me a score.
They could, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Reading between the lines, they could feel shyness. Yeah.
Shyness or not sure, but they will start to confess their feeling instead.
Right. That's a really good one. Very good identification, right? A person could be pathos if they don't even give a score. They just start, I feel malu, right? You know, or yeah. Okay, that's good. Good. Excellent. Okay. And then ethos. Let's go to Wayana. What would ethos look like potentially? Babe, you're muted again. Ah!
Ah. Okay. Would be ethos. I think the credit that they will give them, like how good they're doing.
Okay. All right. So based on maybe reputation, right?
Based on the reputation, or the what you call to give the report or the honor.
Okay. Maybe yes, Nadine.
I think for ethos category, they could come with some scores. They will ask like, in what term? So in a brand, I would say like this, or in professional,
Okay.
like this.
That's also logos, right? If they're able to manage multiple sort of factors, that's logos. But if they just say, if they focus on branding, then that pretty much says ethos, right? I think we're still the number 1 or number 2 brand in the category, right? Or we're the number 8 brand in the category. So if they mention things like brand, competitors, they mention like, you know, the relative standing of their organization in the overall context, I think that's an ethos play. Yeah, very good. Okay. All right, good. So, okay, that clarifies things, right? That allows us to see a little bit more clearly where a particular owner is. Looks like we're filling this out anyway now, right? Looks like we're developing. Okay, so what about building trust? Okay. Oh, actually, we don't have enough time today. Unfortunately, we only have 3 more minutes. Okay.
Yeah,
But
we have 3 more minutes.
Okay.
We need to do the-
we need to be logos about this and be logical. So, all right, let's ask ourselves this: if we were to finish this, okay, would this be useful? Would this be a guideline we could turn to regularly to solve our problems? Let's go to Wayana. What do you think?
I think will be more complete.
This will be more complete. Okay.
Yeah, because when you know the personality and combine with the business,
Uh-huh.
it will be more complete. Because if you understanding the approach is from the personality and then also understanding the business,
Uh-huh.
it will be more persuasive. because,
Right. You could be more persuasive if you get both of them. Yeah.
Lebih pas aja sih.
Okay. In fact, could this be a more complete way to encapsulate everything, right? So think about it, right? Won't you figure out the business situation of a particular owner by the time you reach discovery, right? So you'll figure it out anyway. And for every type of discovery, there is a pattern matching, right? And in fact, you don't need to understand the business situation, because the business situation you'll discover in detail at the discovery stage. And then from there, you'll be able to pattern match, right? Oh, you have an owner. Okay, then this is it. In fact, that's more important than actually discovering or having just a key line to say if the owner has management or not, right?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is a more general purpose situation. It's for all business situations, not just the ones that we've discovered. So this could be a super document. Okay, it's not complete. So we need to find time to complete it, all right? And it's probably worthwhile to do. So let's do this. Let's give us some more thought, okay? Let's meet again next week with the goal of filling this chart out, okay? So we're gonna fill this chart out, and this is probably gonna be our first chart now, right? Our root inspiration. And then we can refer to the business situation as a secondary, right? As kind of like a backup, okay? All right, good.
Yeah, I think this is very good because if we have this community will be easier to approach, you know.
Yes.
And finance and then the HAR. Like,
Yes.
then easily you can, you know, the communication in the company will be more beautiful and
Yes.
based on each one of the owners. So
You're right.
We should have like we're gonna have like a better PRM.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yes, Nadine. For
Yes, I personally, if I'm still a beginner, and actually still right now, I don't feel like terrified to actually doing the execution because I feel like I have enough equipment already.
right, this is
Right,
this
yeah.
is better, right? It's smaller and more compact, and it's not so like you know, like this is almost like you could train a beginner to use, and they would know what to do, right? So yeah, it is an improved tool, which makes us in this cycle right now. We've inspected and we found that we could probably improve the tool. And the tool is improved now because it could probably produce more output per input, right? So this is how we would evolve this tool. It also improves the owner persona device, right? Because owner persona before was based on things like your ethnicity, you know, if you're married or not, all these things. But is that nearly as important as the owner mindset? Maybe not, all right? Right? You could be two different personas and have the same mindset. So who cares, right? Who cares if you know? But knowing the mindset tells you which particular way that you can control the conversation, right? Do you need to use this, or this to lock into where the owner actually thinks? So this improves two tools: it improves the pitch, and it improves the way we understand owner persona. It's the most important thing about owner persona because it's generally very consistent too, right? Persona changes and demographics with age, right? You get older, you get like, you know, married, all these things. But the way your mindset is set, generally fixed. Okay, great. So let's do this.
Time's up, guys.
Time's up. Nadine, could you schedule another meeting same time next week? And then we'll aim to complete this particular element, right? If you haven't, then please bring in examples of what you think could be different approaches, right? And we'll just condense the different ideas next week. So we'll try to get everyone's idea in, and then we'll remove until we get the very purest ideas for each particular category. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. All right. See you, everyone. All right. Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Everyone.